Good morning, children. Today we will discuss about the poverty. It is the subtopic of current challenges facing Indian economy of Indian economic development. Unit 7. So now to understand the concept of poverty, first of all, we will discuss about what is poverty. Poverty is the inability to fulfill the minimum requirement of life. So what are the minimum requirement of life? The minimum requirement includes food, clothing, housing, education and health facilities. But your poverty is hunger. Poverty is being sick and not being able to see a doctor. Poverty is not being able to go to school and not knowing how to read. Poverty is not having a job. Poverty is fear for the future, having food once in a day. Poverty is losing a child to illness brought about by unclear water. Poverty is powerlessness, lack of representation, and freedom. All above are the conditions of the poor. Now let us discuss about types of poverty. There are two types of poverty: relative poverty and absolute poverty. As the relative means, it refers to poverty in relation to different classes. As it is relative, so it is in relation to different classes, regions, countries, the country or class of people whose level of subsistence is low is treated as poor or relatively poor in comparison to the country or classes of people having high income. Another type is absolute poverty. So, absolute poverty is related to poverty of an individual. In India, the concept of poverty line is used as measure of absolute poverty. So now we have to understand about the poverty line. What is the poverty line? In pre-independent India, Dadabhai Naoroji was the first to discuss the concept of a poverty line. He used the menu for a prisoner and used appropriate prevailing prices to arrive at what may be called jail cost of living. However, only adults stay in jail, whereas in an actual society there are children too. He therefore appropriately adjusted this cost of living to arrive at the poverty line. For this adjustment, he assumed that one-third population consisted of children and half of them consumed very little while the other half consumed half of the adult diet. This is how he arrived at the factor of 3/4. The weightage average of consumption of the three segments gives the average poverty line, which comes out to be the 3/4 of the adult jail cost of living. In post-independent India, there have been several attempts to work out a mechanism to identify the number of poor in the country. For instance, in 1962, the Planning Commission formed a study group to decide the poverty line. In 1979, another body called the Task Force on Projection of Minimum Needs and Effective Consumption Demand was formed. In 1989 and 2005, expert groups were constituted for the same. So, poverty line is defined as the cutoff line which divides the people into two groups, namely, one is rich and another is poor. It is the bifurcation between the rich and poor. The people living above the poverty line are called rich, and the people living below the poverty line are called poor. Now, methods of determining the poverty line. It may be determined by the monetary value, that is per capita expenditure of the minimum calories intake, that was estimated 2400 calories for a rural person and 2100 calories for urban person. बच्चों, there is a difference between the calories intake of rural person and the urban person. Why it is so? Think over it. Now, based on this, in 2011 and 12, the poverty line was defined for rural areas as consumption worth rupees 816 per person a month, and for urban areas it was rupees 1000 per person a month. Now there is a question, who is poor? According to Planning Commission, the person who is below poverty line is called poor. So we will discuss about the types of poor. Now there are two types of poor. One is rural poor and another is urban poor. Now, features of rural poor. In rural areas, there is different type of problem, and in urban areas, different types of problems are exist. So, in rural areas, poor are those person who are landless or agricultural worker. They are not able to fulfill their basic needs, that is roti, kapda, makan, swasth or shiksha. They have kacha houses. They don't have a proper house for living. Chronic indebtedness. Chronic indebtedness means they are having loans. They are always taking loan for their needs. And child labor is spread among them. Their children are the asset. So they are engaged in child labor. Use of cow dung, cake and firewood as a fuel. Now, let us discuss about the features of urban poor. In urban areas, they are hutment dwellers. It means they lived in the jhuggi and jhonpadis. You have always seen in every city, in their circumference or in their outer area, there are jhuggi and jhonpadis, temporary houses. So, urban poor, because they migrated from village to urban areas in search of employment. They are illiterate, they don't have proper literacy, irregular employment. Sometimes they get the employment or the work for a week or for a few days in a week or few weeks in a month or in few months. Their health conditions are very poor. No sanitation and electricity is available for them. No access to safe drinking water. They don't have the proper drinking water. So, these are the features of urban poor. Now, some common features of rural and urban poor. Hunger, starvation and malnutrition. Their children are not properly nutrited. They are not able to get the proper nutritive food. Poor health and poor education system, irregular jobs with poor bargaining capacity, limited economic opportunities, and helplessness, bigger size of family, because they don't have the asset. Their asset is only their children. So their family size is big. One poor family give birth to the more poor families. So cause is poor and effect is also poor. Now, how are poor people identified? For the purpose of defining poverty, people will be divided into following two groups. One is poor and another is non-poor. What does it mean? Poor and non-poor. Poor are again divided into absolute poor, very poor and poor. Or we can say always poor or usually poor. These are also known as chronic poor. Usually poor means who may sometimes have a little money or work. These are example of these type casual worker. And though both groups are known as chronic poor. Another is transit poor. The transit poor are categorized as the churning poor who regularly move in and out of poverty. Example, farmers and seasonal worker. And another type is occasionally poor. These are the poor who are rich most of the time but may sometimes have a path of bad luck. It means sometimes they become poor and sometimes they cross the poverty line. We can't say them rich, but they are above the poverty line. That is why these are known as transit poor. And another category is non-poor. So the non-poor are the people who are never poor, are the non-poor. Non-poor, not so poor, these are also divided into so many classes. Not so poor, they are just above the poverty line. Middle class, upper middle class, rich and very rich. Non-poor can be classified into 5 categories. Clear, children? Not so poor, middle class, lower middle class. It is also known as lower middle class, upper middle class, rich and very rich. Now, again, we have discussed about the categories of poor and poverty. I think it is clear. Now you can see it with the help of poverty line. The yellow line is poverty line. So always poor are the person who was, these are always remain below the poverty line. While the usually poor, but they get little money, little or more money, for example, chronic poor, casual workers. Another is churning poor and occasionally poor, and next one is non-poor or never poor. These are remains always above the poverty line. Now there is a question. What causes the poverty? Economic exploitation under British rule. What are the causes of poverty? Now we will discuss about the causes of poverty. So there is most important factor is economic exploitation under the British rule. During the British rule, they exploit our economy. Our natural resources were plundered. Our industries worked to produce goods at low price for the British, and our food grains were exported. Many died due to famine and hunger. Under the British rule, India began to export food grains, and as a result, as many as 26 million people died in famines between 1875 and 1900. Britain's main goal from the Raj were to provide a market for British exports or have India service its debt payments to Britain and for India to provide manpower for the British rule, for the Britishers. Another reason is fragmentation of land holdings. Dear students, a large section of the rural poor in India are the small farmer. The land that they have is in general less fertile and dependent on rains. Their survival depends on subsistence, crops, and sometimes on livestock. With the rapid growth of population and without alternative sources of employment, the per head availability of land for cultivation has steadily declined, leading to fragmentation of land holdings. The income from these small land holdings is not sufficient to meet the family's basic requirement. And Indian agriculture was backward. They don't use the hybrid seeds, modern equipments to cultivate the agriculture. So backwardness of Indian agriculture is also the cause of poverty. Next is unemployment. Dear students, poverty and unemployment both are the two heads of the coin. A large section of urban poor in India are largely the overflow of the rural poor who migrate to urban areas in search of employment and a livelihood. Industrialization has not been able to absorb all these people. The urban poor are either unemployed or intermittently employed as casual laborers. Casual laborers are among the most vulnerable in society as they have no job security, no assets, limited skills, scarce opportunity, and no surplus to sustain them. Poverty is therefore closely related to nature of unemployment. Capital deficiency is also another reason. In India, there is mismatch between the unemployment and the available capital. So capital deficiency is also one important reason of the poverty. Next is inflation, means price rise. A steep rise in the price of food grains and other essential goods at a rate higher than the price of luxury goods further intensified the hardship of deprivation of lower income group. So the people are not able to purchase the goods which are essential, but they are sold at the high price. One more important factor is high growth rate of population. It is also very, very important cause because in India, population rate is very high. Poverty is cause and its impact is also poverty. Cause and effect both are poverty. Now, inequalities of income and wealth. In India, there is unequal distribution of income and wealth. The unequal distribution of income and assets has also led to the persistence of poverty in India. All this has created two distinct groups in society. Those who possesses the means of production and earn good incomes are those who have only their labor to trade for survival. Over the years, the gap between the rich and the poor in India has widened. Vicious circle of poverty. Dear students, poverty is cause and its effect is poverty. So there is a circle. Cause poverty, due to this poverty there is increase in poverty. Because increase in poverty, it again becomes the cause of the poverty. So vicious circle of poverty is also one important reason for the poverty in India. Indebtedness in India, so many people are very much, because unemployment or underemployment and the casual and intermittent nature of the work in both rural and urban areas compel the indebtedness, which in turn reinforce the poverty. Indebtedness is one of the significant factor of the poverty. Now, I hope, children, you will able to understand the causes of poverty in India. In next class, we will discuss the poverty alleviation programs and policies, how the government try to remove the poverty or try to alleviate the poverty from India. Thank you.